And here we go, Texas Strong Style matchup. It was supposed to be Kari Wright versus Mars Lewis. Kari Wright versus Chris Raven. Chris Raven couldn't make it, but here we go. Oh man, this is a blast from my past. It is the greatness of Phil Noir. Phil Noir has taken up the challenge to face the reincarnation of excellence, Kari Wright. I'm excited to see Phil. Phil is one of my favorite people of all time. And look at that crowd over there to greet Phil Noir. Phil Noir is a very popular person here in the KOS family. He does a lot around this state, being a very reliable and very great athlete inside that ring. And look at that. Look at Phil. But he is going up against somebody who he has faced before, and someone who I know very well from my time at MPX and Red River Wrestling. It is the reincarnation of excellence, Kari Wright. Kari Wright is one of the best competitors in all of the state of Texas. He's the DreamCon North American champion. He's a former MPX heavyweight champion, just losing to Tommy Becker. He is on the list, one of the top performers of black excellence wrestlers in all of the state of Texas. One of the 500. And Kari Wright is no fan of the fans. He's a fan of himself. He's a fan of winning. And he's a fan of championships. And he's looking to place himself in top contention for the King of Sports Wrestling Strong Style Championship and possibly the King of Sports Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. You know he's a heavyweight champion before. He can do it again. The reincarnation of excellence, Kari Wright. I'm really looking forward to this matchup. I was looking forward to Chris Raven and the Armada facing off against the reincarnation of excellence, but Phil Noir is a tough competitor and has earned his right to be here against Kari.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the second Texas Strong Style matchup of the night, the following contest is scheduled for one fall with a 15-minute time limit. First, to my right, hailing from Lubbock, Texas, weighing in at 197 pounds, he is Phil Noir!
And Phil Noir fighting out of Lubbock. Looking good, looking in better shape than I've ever seen him.
His opponent, hailing from Arlington, Texas, weighing in at 206 pounds, he is Kari Wright!
And Kari Wright, the reincarnation of excellence. A champion all over. And here we go. The bell's going to ring here in just a moment. We're about to get Kari Wright versus Phil Noir. Phil Noir did not know he was going to be facing anybody tonight. And Kari Wright thought he was facing Chris Raven. So these are two people who are not prepared to face each other. We'll see how this goes. But they have faced each other in the past. I've seen this matchup, and I know that Phil Noir has taken steps, leaps, and bounds to become a better professional wrestler. And I think he's going to show Kari Wright exactly how much he's improved over the past few years. Here we go, Kari Wright not even taking Phil Noir very seriously right now. But I suggest that Kari Wright do take Phil seriously. Phil is a serious competitor. And here we go, collar and elbow tie-up. Kari, definitely the better athlete, definitely the stronger. But Phil is experienced. Both of them are very experienced. Both of them train, I believe, at DFW All-Pro, where you become a pro wrestler, a very, very professional wrestler. Kari Wright keeping that wrist control. Looks like Phil is in a bad position right now, but drop down to a knee so he can use his quickness to the advantage. And here we go, Phil trying to adjust himself and get himself in a right position, but Kari is slippery. Phil again, hammerlock, back to the headlock, switch, and back to another hammerlock, back to the headlock, and headlock takeover. Phil Noir, simple wrestler, doesn't do anything too flashy, but does everything pretty well. But Kari Wright is Flash. He is Flash personified. He calls himself the reincarnation of excellence, and you can see he takes himself very, very seriously. Phil Noir trapped in between those long legs of Kari, and here we go again, headlock takeover. Phil Noir trying to keep Kari Wright grounded. Kari, a successful athlete in his own right. Great basketball player, uses that basketball technique inside the ring. You will see him use a Euro step to get out of the way of some attacks. He's very, very flexible, and you see the flexibility coming right in as he uses that knee to drive down Phil Noir all the way to the ground. That is a very, very prominent technique in Japanese style of wrestling and all sorts of strong style wrestling. And here we go. Looks like 1, 2, one count as Phil Noir tries to take a quick pin and a quick victory away from Kari Wright. Now Kari, I think, is trying to take Phil a little bit more serious now, Phil's showing that he is a very nice competitor inside that ring. Kari backing up him into the corner, trying to break that waist lock. He got the break, and then a big back elbow from Kari Wright. Kari Wright is an absolute savage inside that ring when he wants to be. A lot of times he is arrogant, takes away a little bit of his skill, but tries to get Phil over for a suplex. Holds onto the ropes. Big rollover. Phil, 1, 2. Big kick out from Kari. And here we go. Big kick. Phil showing a little bit of speed, showing a little bit of athleticism that I haven't seen in a long time. Big rollover, misses. And Kari with a kick to the gut. Flip around. Big uppercut from Phil Noir. Phil Noir follows up with a second uppercut. Got him back to the corner. And a big elbow into the corner. Big clothesline into the corner. Phil is making his run right now. Snapmare takeover. And a snap release. And a sliding clothesline. 2. Phil Noir absolutely impressing me right now. Absolutely impressing me right now. I have not seen this type of fire in Phil Noir in a long time. And it looks like Kari was trying to catch his breath on the outside, on the apron of the ring.
Y'all talk too much.
And Phil grabbing the hair. Everything fully legal. He's got to let go on the count of 5. Bring him back inside the ring. Looks like he wants to. Block of the suplex right there from Kari Wright. This looks like a very dangerous position. And a neckbreaker on the top rope. Slingshotting Phil Noir back into the ring. Face first. And another face first plant by Phil Noir. Kari Wright looking and deciding what to do. Grabbing Phil Noir on the apron. Crushing his face on the apron, and now Kari Wright looking at the crowd. And again, this is where I think Kari Wright needs to focus in, because Phil Noir is a real competitor in there. Phil Noir, big punches to the gut. Not enough offense from Phil Noir. And a big shot from Kari Wright, right to the chest of Phil Noir. And a big break of the chop, and a big chop from Phil Noir. Look at that. Phil going into the crowd, making sure that Kari Wright being held up by the fans. Phil Noir. Big chop. Big chop. Everyone's got to get in the ring. Robert Wells continuing the count, and Phil Noir. The crowd is loving him. I hope Kari Wright wakes up in the morning and knows he's in a fight. Into the corner, Kari Wright, shoulder thrust, big time shoulder thrust into the corner, dropping Phil Noir all the way to the outside. And again, no padding on the outside. That is pure gymnasium floor that he is rolling around on. There is no relief down there. Those knees, your elbows, your spine, it's all on pine. Count is broken up. Phil Noir back into the ring, and Kari Wright again driving a camel clutch type maneuver, driving the back into the ring, driving the stomach into the ring. Phil Noir is trying to fight out of it, but look at Kari Wright sitting back on it, wrenching back. That is a bad position to be in. He is close to the ropes as Phil Noir. He can almost reach it, but Kari Wright, if he is smart enough, will start dragging back on that neck, pushing him back into the middle of the ring, not letting him reach to the ropes. But Phil's fighting. Phil is fighting, and a rope break right there from Phil Noir.
Come on, 1, 2, 3.
But Kari Wright does not waste any time, and a 1, 2. Kick out at 2. Kick out at 2 from Phil Noir. Kari Wright definitely underestimated Phil Noir at the beginning of this matchup, but I do not think that's happening anymore. I think Kari Wright has now officially taken Phil Noir seriously. You better take him seriously. If you're at King of Sports Wrestling, if you're a part of this first-class wrestling event, you're an absolute athlete inside that ring, and everybody should be taken seriously inside the ring. Kari Wright trying to whip Phil into the ropes. Phil, and followed him into that rope whip with a big gut check knee lift, and a big gut check knee lift. Keeps wrist control. You control the wrist, you control the body, you control the head, you control the body, and that suplex right there settles it right there. And a 1, 2, almost 3 right there. Phil Noir with a big kick out on 2.5, and Kari Wright is not happy. Now, Kari just saw what King Razor Ray did. He knows that the champion of the Strong Style division is the one and only Brick Savage. But does Kari Wright have what it takes to even beat Phil Noir to get into the conversation to face either one of those men? And there we go. Big miss, but a big move from Kari Wright. Phil Noir trying his hardest. Big swinging little neck breaker. That was a fantastic neck breaking cutter by Phil Noir, giving himself some time, but he's got to catch his breath as well. Kari Wright seems to be the one that is stirring first. The conditioning of Kari Wright is nothing to sneeze at. He is an absolute fantastic athlete. The King of Sports Wrestling crowd, again, getting to a fever pitch right now as both men struggle to their feet. And here we go. Kari Wright seems to be stirring first, but Phil Noir right behind him. Both men up to their feet. A big block by Phil Noir. A big punch by Phil Noir. Kari Wright again, but a big block by Phil. A big shot by Phil. Here we go. Missed on an axe handle. Oh, a big running forearm. A big running forearm by Phil Noir. Phil Noir has got himself flying right now. Oh, and a front drop kick. And here we go. Phil Noir filling himself. And again, a big corner drop kick from Phil Noir. Can he keep the momentum going? And a third big drop kick in the corner from Phil Noir. I don't think Kari Wright knows what's hit him. He's in a world of hurt. Phil Noir, stick him up. Looks like for a near Unagi. Oh! Brilliant maneuver right there. Looks like a 2. Oh! Almost a 3 count. Phil Noir almost had the upset of the night. If he would have been Kari Wright, I'm not sure Kari would have been able to go back into Arlington or DFW All-Pro or anywhere in the Metroplex, knowing that Phil Noir upset him here in Ladonia, Texas. King of Sports Wrestling, my God. As you heard, 5 minutes left in this Texas Strong Style match. Phil Noir is taking Kari Wright. Oh, and it looks like Kari Wright tried to get Robert Wells in the middle, and a big bicycle knee to the back. And here we go. It looks like Kari Wright, and that should be it. Oh, she wrote right there. 1, 2, 3. And your winner from Arlington, Texas, the reincarnation of excellence, Kari Wright. Ladies and gentlemen, Kari Wright with the victory right there with the driver. Big win for Kari Wright here at King of Sports Wrestling. I believe it is debut here at King of Sports Wrestling, and he defeated a very game Phil Noir. Phil Noir has nothing to be ashamed of. But Kari Wright is looking at King Razor Ray, and Kari Wright is looking at Brick Savage and saying, I want my title opportunity.
Ladies and gentlemen,